Well, we're all set, good to go. Hello, everybody, all three of you. Oh, well, we'll start sitting. You can sit on your block or a cushion. Your legs crossed in whatever way is comfortable, or kneeling if you prefer. And put your hands down onto the floor, wriggle up like you're lifting by pushing down into your arms, lifting your weight out of your sit bones, and then replace the sit bones gently down, but try and keep nice and tall through your spine. So it's like the head doesn't want to drop. And then release your arms. Relax your shoulders and close your eyes. And when you breathe, start to feel your breath hitting the back of your body, as if when you inhale, the breath draws you back slightly. So you really feel like your weight is going right over the sit bones. Keeping your weight over the sit bones. Now continue to breathe into the back of your body, but also let the breath spread into the front of your body so it opens and lifts you from the front. Keep the chin slightly in so the back of the neck is long. And just feel you're getting more consciously aware of your body and your breath inside your body. One more breath with your exhale, feeling your shoulders that little bit heavier. And let your right ear fall towards your right shoulder. Keep the left shoulder heavy. Relaxing your jaw. Unclenching any clench in your teeth. And then up and over the other way. Relaxing the opposite shoulder. And with an inhale, let your head draw back up like it's a balloon floating up. And then whichever way you've got your legs crossed, put the other one in front. And if you happen to be kneeling, just stay kneeling. And again, breathe to the back of your body and then feel it expand into the front of your body so you're finding your center. Keep nice and long through the back of your neck and look over your right shoulder. As your chin turns toward the right, keep your eyes turning further. So you might have got a quarter turn or something around about that with your head, but then let your eyes feel like they're trying to go a full half turn. And then come back to center and then just your head turning the other way. And again, however far you get with your head, see if your eyes then can continue like they're trying to do a full semicircle, like they're trying to see behind you. No strain, and keep your shoulders and your jaw relaxed. And then with an inhale, head comes back to center. And exhale, just give your shoulders a little roll around. Going to come into a wide knee child's pose. Big toes touch, knees wide on the mat. Let your torso come into the gap of your legs. Arms out in front and forehead to the floor. If your shoulders feel a little tight, bend your elbows more or take your arms a bit wider. And this time, as you inhale, feeling your back float up a little. And as you exhale, feeling your back sink down into your chest. But there's a slight pulse, inhaling the pulses upwards. And exhaling the pulses downwards, moving you toward the earth. A couple more, breathing through your nose. And then on your inhale, come up to hands and knees. Keep your feet together and your knees wide. So for me, I've got sensitive knees, so I like padding underneath. So if you're using padding, put that underneath your left knee and keep your left shin as it is, so it's diagonal behind you. Bring your right hand in a bit closer so you can balance and step your right foot forwards on the right edge of the mat. And then come up. So your left lower leg is just at an angle behind you and your right knee is wide. Sink down into the bend of your right knee a little and use your wrist on the inside of the knee. Press into the inner knee and turn your torso toward the left. And as you do that, keep your shoulders relaxed and float out the left arm and turn your gaze out toward the left palm. Turning your head, looking with your eyes. Pressing your right knee wide. Now bring your left hand onto the left pelvic bone and pull the left pelvic bone open whilst applying pressure with your right elbow, and then drop down onto your right forearm. Keep turning open the left hip. Keep bending down into your right knee. And then swoop the left arm in front of you and up by your ear. Keep it there. Both shoulders soften away from your ears. And you continue to bend and open the left hip. Belly button trying to turn away from your right knee. Come back to center. Bring your left hand down to the floor. Tuck your right toes under and straighten your, bring your left hand to the floor and tuck your left toes under and straighten your left knee. And open your right arm, so we're twisting the other way. Look up toward the ceiling or towards your thumb. And then push that left thigh bone a little bit higher and squeeze your right hip in a little more. When your right hand comes down, lift your right heel so your hand can go underneath your foot and then step back to a plank. Hug the belly in slightly. And then go back to a wide knee child's pose. Just moving that padding out for a moment. Sit back. Notice any difference in feeling between one leg and the other. We're coming on to the other side. So when you return up to all fours, you keep the shins at the angle behind, put your padding underneath your right knee, move your left hand in closer so you can step your left foot up the left edge of the mat. And then come up. Bend into the left knee and put the left wrist inside the knee. Start to press on the inner knee and turn your torso away from the knee and float your right arm. And as your right arm floats, turn your head towards your right arm. Feel opening in the inner left thigh and openness across your chest. Let your breath continue smoothly. One more round. When you look forwards and bring your right hand onto your right pelvic bone and try and broaden the right pelvic bone while applying that light pressure on the inner left knee. Drop your left forearm onto the leg and then swoop your right arm forwards and by your right ear. And feel as you continue to keep that left leg steady, belly button turns away from your left knee. Your right hand comes down to the floor. Tuck your right toes under and straighten your right knee off the floor. Open your left arm, twist. The right thigh might sag down a little, so feel as you straighten the right leg, the right thigh bone pushing toward the back of the leg. And then the left sit bone squeezes in, turning your belly button to the left. Look down, lift your left heel so you've got somewhere to place your hand and then step back to plank position. Push from your heels to your head. And then knees go wide and we're going to move that padding out from underneath your knee. I'm going to child's pose this time with your knees wide again, palms together. Elbows stay on the floor and then bend at your elbows so the prayer position of your hands comes behind the back of your head. Sinking down into the armpits. As your arms come forwards, separate your hands and come to downward facing dog. feet are just sit bone distance apart here. Fingers broad. Walk your hands and feet towards each other so you can end up in the middle of your mat. And then hold onto your elbows, hang over the legs. If you can go a bit further, wrap your arms around the back of the legs. Pressing your legs now a little more away from your face. If your arms are behind the legs, then pressing your legs into your arms. Soften your knees, release your arms, and roll your spine up with your knees a little soft. And roll your shoulders down. Step your feet out a bit wider than your hips, turn your toes slightly out, soft knees, and then rotate your torso and flop your arms side to side. And come to center. Slide your hands down the front of your thighs and bend your knees out so they're about level with your ankles. Drop your right shoulder towards your left knee and look to the left. Inhale, center, drop your left shoulder towards the right knee and look toward the right. Inhale, center, exhale, shoulder toward knee. Inhale, center, and your thumbs are on the inner knees, trying to keep them wide as you do this little rotation and bow. And last time. When you come to center, keep the knees wide and bring your hands to a prayer position. Make sure you're using your feet evenly, not collapsing too far in or rolling too far out, where you feel like you're going to tipple backwards, but using the sole of the foot intelligently. The toes awake, the ball of the foot, the heel of the foot, find center. Push your way up straight and turn your heels out so that they are level with the balls of your feet. So your feet now are parallel with each other. Bring your hands to your hips and start bending forwards from your hips. Fingers come onto the floor or a couple of blocks if you need them. Inhale with your arms straight so you get a longer, flatter back. And then exhale. For some of you, you might go down a bit deeper. The blocks can travel with your hands if you're using blocks or just hands onto the floor. And again, see if you can find balance through the soles of your feet. Bring in a little weight forwards, perhaps. Activate the muscles of your legs so your knees feel like they are kneecaps turning almost slightly away from each other rather than towards each other. Then walk your hands around towards your right foot, lift the left heel, and drop your left knee into the middle of the mat. You'll circle your right arm forwards out in front of you to the ceiling and then round behind you. And again, circle forwards in front and then round behind. And again, forwards and round behind. And then rest your hand on the back leg or tuck your back knee, and catch hold of the foot. So bending your back knee, catching the foot. Otherwise, you just let your hand rest behind you. And then bring your hand inside the right foot, lift the left knee, walk your hands all the way around, and then start pivoting your feet round the other way. So your left foot is going to be on the left edge of the mat. Your right knee drops to the middle of the mat. And then keep on your right hand, reach your left arm forwards, round behind, and down, and again out in front, up, behind, and again in front, up, behind. And the next one is just a half circle, so you go all the way up and around, and then you can either rest your hand on the back leg, or again you can tuck that back leg up, catch hold of your foot.
And then release your hand down, lift your back knee, walk back round to your wide stance with your legs, and just level your feet out. Come back into a flat back on the blocks if you need to. Bring your hands onto your hips and firm your legs, knees active, and then come all the way up with a straight back. Good, then turn your right foot so the toes point along the outside line of your mat, and then turn on the back foot so that you can turn your hips in line with your front foot. Okay, so the back foot's turned round so that your hips can turn. Inhale, exhale, bend forwards, and as you bend forwards, you can use your blocks again on the floor, or you can place your hands on the floor. Get a flat back as you inhale, drawing the right hip back slightly, and then bending forwards over your right leg as you exhale. Gauging both knees up. Come to straight arms, bend your front knee a little bit, so it's like you're doing a small warrior one, and bring your hands to your hips and come up. Okay, so we're going to keep the right leg bent, the front leg bent, lift the back heel and tap your left toes forwards next to your right foot. Sink down into your stance, so you're in a squat on your right leg, and either stay like that or cross the left thigh over your right and try and wrap the toes around behind, squeezing at the legs. Keep your hands on your hips and firm your belly. You're squeezing the sit bones, slightly narrowing the sit bones. Stay balancing on your right leg. Unravel the left leg. Toes can touch the floor for a little bit of stability if you need to. And then start reaching the left leg in the air behind you. Tip forwards from your hips and straighten your arms by your side. Just head diving the plant. And go. Point the back toes to the floor. Square your hips. And then a confident step back with your left foot on the floor behind and turn around so you're back to the wide leg standing position. Now your left foot's going to turn out away from you, about in line with the edge of your mat, and your right foot turns around so that your hips can turn with the front leg. Hands to hips, inhale, and exhale, start going down. Try and keep the feeling of narrowing the sit bones rather than broadening the sit bones. As you go forwards, hands can go to the blocks. Inhale, stretch the chest forwards. Exhale, bow forwards. Just breathing smoothly, one more round. Let the breath continue, uninterrupted in its rhythm. Bend the front knee a little bit. Bring your hands to your hips so you're strong in your core, and then come up with a straight back. Okay, keep the left leg bent. Lift the back heel, tap your right toes forwards next to the left foot and sit into a squat on your left leg. Slightly narrow the sit bones and hug the belly. Either stay here or cross the left thigh bone over. Toes wrap round. Eagle legs without the arms. As you unravel the leg, you can touch the floor again for some midway stability, and then start reaching your right leg out behind. As you tip forwards, arms come by your side, palms up. Warrior 3. And then a confident drop of the foot toward the mat behind you. Turn around back to your straight leg position and heel toe your feet in. Okay, we're going to come down into a squat and do eagle arms. So by all means, you can either put something underneath your heels, like a rolled blanket or a couple of blocks underneath the back of your heels. If your heels don't go down or the edge of your bolster, you can put something under your bottom, like a block or a cushion, to give you some stability. Okay, and then we're taking the arms into eagle arms. So if you struggle with eagle arms, just hold on to opposite shoulders. So have the right arm on top and the left arm underneath. And if you can get hold of opposite shoulders and get your elbows to cross past each other more, wrap your forearms around and then bow through the gap of your legs and let your head move towards your crossed arms and your crossed arms toward the floor. I'm going to hold this for about a minute. feel heavy toward the floor behind you, even though they're not on the floor. Maybe you're just hovering on a cushion or lightly touching something, but you don't have to. Try and relax your head if you can. Breathe into the space between the shoulder blades. And then lift your head and unravel the arms while you're there so you can press into your hands and come up. And then you go the other way. So left arm on top, you can hug your opposite shoulders. Elbows crossed by each other, you might be able to wrap the forearms round. Then again, bow down into the gap. Sometimes a little wriggle, feel your thigh bones are trying to move back as your torso moves forwards. And unravel the arms there, press into your hands and come up. And then lower your bottom down and turn around on your mat. So you're going to have a full extension through your body as you come down onto your back. Lift the hips up onto something appropriate height and then lay out straight. So legs out straight, arms behind, and the front of the hips are open. And then relax your limbs. And if the thing that you're using under your bottom is too high or too low, adjust it so you can become still and comfortable. We're just doing another 1 minute position here. Letting your breath unravel the tension that might have got caught inside you. The years of stress and tension that we might experience in our life can lodge themselves in our tissues. So this is really important work where we come to try and dislodge or create some avenues of freedom within. There's a pigeon on the Velux window directly above me, a wood pigeon. And I have never seen a pigeon's bottom before, but now I have. It's very fluffy. It's gone. Okay, turn your legs inwards and outwards a couple of times. And then slide your feet one at a time flat to the floor. Bring your arms down. Tilt the pelvis a couple of times back and forwards, just a little roll. When you tilt the pelvis up, just enough to slide out whatever you're using under your bottom, your cushion, your block, and then come down. Rest your hands on your belly, elbows on the floor, and just take a few breaths. Allow your back to settle. Good. And then come wide with your feet, narrow with your knees. So the opposite to what we did in child's pose. Feet wide, knees together. And then start to bring your right foot up the mat a little and a bit wider, so you can drop the right knee in toward the middle of the mat. And for some of you, you could put a block or a cushion underneath the inner leg as it drops in. If it's easy enough to hold your foot, you can hold your foot. For me, it's a bit of a press on the bone on the floor, so I put my hand underneath for some padding. That won't be available to everyone. Just see what works for you. Make sure you're not twisting and feeling any discomfort in your knee. We want to feel this as a rotation, an internal rotation of the thigh bone. Your left hand can still be left resting on your belly so that you can feel your breath. And you can feel the exaggerated exhale as you come into these longer held poses. We want longer breaths, particularly longer exhales, because they are tension relieving. Okay, and then use your hip to pull back toward the floor, and that will help your legs spring up from your core. And just go back into a double knock-kneed position, both knees rest on each other. And same thing on the other side. So your left foot might come up a little bit higher and goes a little bit wider as the knee starts to drop in. And it might rest on a bolster or a block. I'm just resting mine on a cushion, but it doesn't have to rest on anything. Your right knee hasn't moved anywhere. And again, you can hold the foot with your left hand if you want to, or put it underneath like I am for some padding. But most important, feel like you are rotating your thigh bone in the hip joint in an inwards direction. So it's less about feeling in the knee. We're not aiming to pull at the knee. We want to rotate from the hip. Feel it somewhere around the pelvis and the hip. Maybe the buttocks, maybe the upper leg. When you close your eyes and flow with your breath, just be with whatever sensation is being now in you. Everything you experience, part of your human being, and we are being present to that beingness. Think of all the intricate connections we've got within us. And because everything's connected somewhere, everything is one big web of connectivity within. So breathe into yourself in this awe, amazement of how delicately produced we are. What an amazing feat of engineering we are in creation. Explore this with your breath. A connection of one part to another. And then again, to come up, your hip starts to feel like it pulls back down toward the floor, the knee will rise, and then just very minimal movement as you get your knees to make contact again. You feel like your bottom's slightly offline, you can move it whenever you're ready to, but sometimes just coming out of that, we just need to settle for a moment. And then think about the squat we did earlier, where we had the eagle wrapping of the arms. So bring your knees up one at a time towards you. Just let them kind of drop in towards you. A hand on each knee. And bring your knees out towards your shoulders. Wriggle your bottom so it feels like it's trying to find the center of your mat or the center line of your body. You can stay like this, just holding your knees, or you can hold around the back of the knees so your feet lift a bit higher. Or for some of you, you can bring your arms in front of your shins and your hands go over the top of your foot and your fingers wrap around the outside edge of your foot for happy baby. And if you have managed to get hold of your feet, let your arms be heavy as they hold on the soles of the feet. Your arms are drawing the feet towards your knees toward the ground. So there's a vertical downward movement in the legs. It's just a counter to the last pose. We're not holding it here for too long. Good, and then bring the soles of your feet together and your knees open into an inner thigh opening, butterfly. You can stay just like that, or if you want to add a bit of back bend into it, bring your knees in, come up, put your cushion or a block behind your back, or your bolster, if you've got one, and then go down and do the same thing, but with your back arched over the bolster and the top of your head touching the floor behind. Your arms can go wherever they feel they want to go. Mine want to make a cactus shape this evening, so that's where I'm going to let them be. And trust that there's this inner intelligence running through your mind, your body, and your spirit, connecting you to energy, connecting you to feeling, and connecting you to what's right. Our voice of intuition is often overridden by the voice of conditioning, and what we're told is the right and the wrong. But see if you can just listen in and respond based on what feels good. If at any point it gets too much in your legs, being in this butterfly shape, you could wedge a block underneath your outer thighs, or you could just go straight with your legs. Especially if you've got something underneath your back. Feel free to come back out of it and then back into it again, give it a little break in between. 1 more minute. On your next inhale, bring your knees in. You can use your hands to help the knees come in. And then for anyone whose head is back, hold behind your head and lift your head with your hands. Once your head is up, press down into your elbows, come up and move the bolster behind the back of your knees. And then you can just put your feet there for a moment on the bolster to help your back settle. And then when you're ready to, let the legs drape over your bolster. Whatever you're using, I've just got a meditation cushion tonight. My bolsters are all at the studio, so that's working fine for me. Whatever you've got available at home, that can substitute, and let your arms relax, palms up. Find center with your head the best you can, and then relax. Any disturbances, whether real, as in something happens in the space you're in, or whether unreal, as in it's just a thought, an imagination, something in your head, whatever it is, whatever disturbs you, see if it can be really quiet in the distance almost. Like no matter how present it feels, feel like it's way, way. Quiet voice. And let your parameter of distractions get further and further out. Broaden your nasal passages and the passages for the breath as you breathe in, and feel there's a fuller flow of breath into your body. A long breath out. And your legs turn onto your side and pause. Press your way up to sitting. And then bring your legs in. As you rest your hands on your legs, close your eyes, and once more, just see if you can quite quickly find that center point of balance. Rib cage, chest, head, nicely aligned. softness supporting them. Thank you and namaste.